What's going on, everybody? Matt Malatesta here with VYPE Media. We are here with Coach Greg Cranfill, the Coach's Corner of St. Pius X. The Panthers get a big win this weekend over the Woodlands Christian Academy. Again, you mentioned it a second ago. A little bit of underdogs come in and just smash mouth the Warriors. Just talk about, what were your takeaways from the game?
I think, coming out hot helped us. Our defense, you and I both talked about the whole week or the whole year that we feel like we've got a pretty solid defense, and they came out and they were flying all over the place. We went down 7-0 early because of the fact that our offense snapped the ball in the end zone and they recovered a fumble. So it wasn't even that our defense had given up points. Our offense had given them 7 points, but our defense was flying around. We had 6 takeaways. Our up front, Nate Alvarez and CJ Fowler played lights out, as well as all of our linebackers, Easton Dean, Jake Lozano, Nick Woods, Sam Williams. Sam, we voted Sam as a player of the week, has, 10 plus tackles, 2 sacks, a caused fumble in the end zone in which Jake Lozano caught. And we get that touchdown back. And then Cam Brown, Cam had 2 interceptions. One was a pick 6, which was a big momentum changer in the game. And then also had about 54 yards of return on punt, and also had, I think about 3 catches for 46 yards and a touchdown on offense. We talked about how some of these guys are playing both ways, and he is one of them. Alex Yearwood played over 100 snaps, and just lights out on both sides. So pretty excited about the momentum hopefully we've got.
So now you've got Lamarck. Just talk about what you see with Lamarck, public school, a former superpower in public school football back in the day. Just talk about what are you trying to accomplish there?
Yeah, it's for us. I know this is very cliche, but it's more about us than it is about anybody. It's the fact that when we go out there, are we executing, or are we, defensively, are we aligning where we need to be? Because they're going to put some different formations up there. They have athletes all over the place, and they've got great coaches over there that know exactly what to do to put other teams in a bind. So we've got to make sure that we're taking care of us first, and then we'll worry about all the rest of it later. So excited about the opportunity that's in front of us. It's a heck of a challenge, but our guys are ready and ready to take that next step as well.
What's it like? You've got, the defense seems like it's kind of carrying the day, right?
Sure.
What is it like when you're like, hey, does the defense say, hey, offense, just hang on, we're going to get y'all in good position to score? Or are they kind of waiting for that offense to take hold?
Yeah, it's one of the conversations that we had and actually in our pregame prayer series. Some of the guys were talking about, the feelings of the split defense and offense. Yes, we're on the same team, but there is that, come on offense, do your part, and come on defense, do your part, which I have no problems with. I'm fine with them encouraging each other as long as we're doing just that, not beating each other down, but picking each other up. And I think, after the first score that the Woodlands Christian had, our senior captain, Jake Lozano, very impressive for me, was doing just that, just saying, everybody just relax. It's a long game. We'll take care of each other. Just keep believing each other. And I was like, God, I win as a coach when I've got guys that know how to lead that way. Ethan McMinn is another guy I bragged on after the game for doing the same thing. We had one of our other players was having a rough night, and he goes up there and just raises his chin up and says, hey man, you just keep fighting. If you'll keep fighting for me, we'll keep fighting for you. And they understand what it takes to be a team, and I think that's kind of where we are. I talk about the word joy, and I stole this from Coach Drew from Baylor, where he believes in order to establish a great culture of a program, you have to have the spirit of joy, which is Jesus, others, and yourself. And I think that's the mentality that you have to have in order to be a great teammate, is to understand, am I doing this to honor God? And then am I doing this to take care of other people? And then lastly, I will get taken care of. I think in life, as well as in sports, that why becomes the first for a lot of people. And they think about, what's in this for me? And then it disrupts every team chemistry that you have, because they're so worried about themselves. Think about others first, and then we're going to be all right. And then, like I said, I've got a lot of seniors that believe in that, and a lot of captains that believe in that. So we're in great shape.
You kind of talked about it earlier, like nobody knows who's good or what they have. It is still kind of early in the season. When does it get, hey, now I'm very confident in our team identity?
Right. And I think it comes down to, Matt, is consistency, right? Because teams are up, teams are down, because of the fact that no one has proven that they can consistently do something every Friday night. That's why this week is such a big night for us. Coming off a win, can we put another win back to back and show some consistency? Like I said, why do I think our defense is playing well? Because they've consistently played well for 3 straight weeks. And that's what we've got to be able to do offensively as well, is carry on. Our special teams, led by Preston Kyle, Matt, it's one of the tops in the area. I mean, you got a guy that's averaging over 40 yards a punt. Then he's kicking, 2 out of the 3 kickoffs were touchbacks, and the other one, the guy tried to return from 9 yards deep in the end zone. He's got a powerful leg, and we're able to flip the field on opponents that quick. And he's a dynamic, a specimen of an athlete for sure. He just picked up another offer this Saturday from Trinity, because they see what we know, and he's capable of doing what he's doing at the high school level at the next level. So, when we start putting all 3 pieces of the puzzle together consistently, then you start identifying, okay, that's a good football team. Until then, I told the guys, we are exactly who everybody says we are until we prove them different. And if when we watch video, there's no volume, so you can't tell me I'll care about this team, coach. I can watch you play, and then find out how much you care about this team. So that's what we're trying to ride. Try to ride that momentum into building one brick on top of each other. So,
all right, I'm gonna take you off script for a second. You talk about joy. You talk about coach from Baylor. You kind of take something from coaches. What are your thoughts about the Deion Sanders Colorado phenomenon going on right now with his kind of relationship with players or having success? They turn it around like that.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this, but one of Deion's son, Deion Sanders Jr., we call him Bucky, actually played for us at Flower Mound Marcus. So I had the great luxury of being able to coach Deion's son. And what you find out about Senior is that when that camera is on, it is prime time. I mean, that's who he is. Behind that camera, he's the most genuine, hardworking, loving person that you could actually ever want to be around. And I think that's what you find out about him, is that the relationship aspect of, they are where they are because of Deion's ability to create relationships with those kids, and they're ready to knock down walls for him. If you said, Greg, does this surprise you? Not at all, because I've seen him do it his whole life. When it comes to A, when he was a player, then B, when he was a high school coach, and then C, on to the collegiate level. Understanding how important relationships are, and then putting a staff together of amazing coaches. See, that gets put in the back because of Prime, but that's not the way he does it. I mean, he's in there praising those coaches, building those coaches up, and saying, what do you need in order for us to be successful? And that's why they are. I think when you go and look at a lot of great head coaches, you look at, the Gary Josephs and Mike Johnstons and all the guys, from the Houston area, or even Joey McGuire and those guys from the high school level. Go back and look at the amazing coaches that they had. Look at the amazing coaches that they had working for them, and ask them how impressive they are when it comes to, here's what you need to be successful, and then go do your job.
Wow. All right. Well, I had to bring that up. I did not realize that you coached him. That's wild.
Yeah.
And I know that you're kind of you kind of learn from other coaches, as all these, coaches do, and you'll have a huge respect for each other.
Absolutely. And that's what it comes down to. I'll tell you, Matt, this past weekend, I went to a funeral of my youth minister. When I was, all through my entire life. I mean, all I knew is Chuck Lee. That's one of the most influential guys in my life. And sitting there at the funeral, I heard all these people talk about it. And the thing that kept resounding in my head was, oftentimes we ask who and what and when and where. And that's what's talked about at the funeral: who he was, where he lived, all this other stuff. But the two most important things that kept coming to my mind are why. Why did he do the things that he did the way he did them? And all I kept thinking about was that spirit of joy, because he believed and followed Christ. And then his first job was always to take care of other people. And then he thought about himself last. And then on top of that, not only why he did what he did, but how he did what he did. And I think I was sitting there going, Chuck may be one of the greatest coaches ever, and never coached a day in his life, because of the fact that he understood why, he understood about relationships, and more importantly, he understood how. It's easy to talk about how to do things, but then when you actually are going to live a life of doing those things, that's what changes people's lives. When I look back at it, I'm going to say, man, I hope there's a list of people that stand at my funeral one day that have all the great things to say about how I changed other people's lives and how I influenced other people's lives. And it was kind of eye-opening again. Once you think you got things and you start patting yourself on the back, you realize, you know what, I can move forward just a little bit more. And like I said, it was a sad day, but another part of it was just, I was so happy that I knew a guy that influenced that many people's lives, and it made me proud. So just wanted to let you know, drop something for a good friend of mine,
Yeah. Well, hey, I love talk. Football's great, but the messaging outside of football and how y'all affect so many kids and families is really impressive. So, Coach, go get them. Lamarck Cougars on deck this week. Hey, go get another win. This is Matt with VYPE. We'll see you at the game. Coach Greg Cranfill of the St. Pius Panthers.
Go Panthers.